Chapter 8. Yeshua cleanses a leper and the centurion's faith. Okay? So it basically talks about when Yeshua was coming down from the mountain after he got done speaking, a leper came to him, bowed down before him, and started begging for him to say, hey, Master, if you are willing, can you make me clean? Yeshua stretches out his hand, touches him, and says, I am willing, be cleansed. Immediately the leprosy was cleansed, okay? Yeshua said to him, see that you tell no one, but go show yourself to the priest and present the offering that Moses commanded as a testimony to them. Okay? Now, why did he tell him to do that instead of to go out into the streets and tell everybody that he was the one that healed them? My opinion of that one is, and I usually try to keep my opinions out of it, but it was a personal cleansing for the man. Yeshua, if you pray to him for specific things, as we do every day, if he delivers that miracle to you, sometimes those miracles are meant just to be between you and him. You know what I mean? So when he told him to go to go and present his offering to the priests, so that it would be a testimony to Moses and to them, it was more of a personal thank you, a personal offering. Yeshua didn't need for him to come out in the streets or all those kinds of things, but he wanted him to fulfill and give thanks in the old school way. It's kind of the way that I took that. Okay. So Yeshua leaves, comes down into Capernaum. A centurion, who is basically like a captain of the Roman guard in those times, an officer, somebody who held a lot of weight, especially with the Romans and then the Judeans, since they were occupying their territory. Okay. He comes down, he sees Yeshua, and he says, Master, my servant is lying paralyzed at home, fearfully tormented. Yeshua said to him, I will come and heal him, even though he's a Roman soldier. Okay, check this out. The centurion had to have been kind of surprised by that. It doesn't necessarily say he was, but he says this, Master, I am not worthy for you to come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I also am a man under authority with soldiers under me. And I say to this one, go, and he goes. And to another, come, and he comes. And to my slave, do this, and he does it. Now Yeshua heard this. He marveled and said to those who were following him, Truly I say to you, I have not found such great faith in anyone in Israel. Okay? The centurion was not a Jew. The centurion, for the most part, should never even have anything to do with any of the religious practices or beliefs of the Hebrews. Okay? So the simple fact that this foreign occupying soldier had heard about what this man Yeshua was doing, and when he heard that he came into town, he himself basically he didn't throw him off in a physical way, but he didn't let the fact that he was a Gentile Roman stop him from begging or recognizing the master and asking him for help. Okay? And as a matter of fact, he was so humble before Yeshua that he didn't even want Yeshua to step into his house. And that was showing great faith. He's like, oh, I know you have so much power, you don't even have to come there. All you got to do is just say something and my servant will be healed. Now, out of all of the unbelieving people that Yeshua was coming into contact with in those days, that were from his own town, his own people, his own nation, he was surprised that a foreign soldier to boot, who was an oppressor of his people, had that much faith to believe in him the way he did. Now, Yeshua said, I say to you that many will come from the east and the west and recline at the table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom. But the sons of the kingdom will be cast out into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Yeshua told the centurion, Go, it shall be done for you as you have believed. Okay. So Yeshua is basically saying that Gentiles in the afterlife will be coming and sitting down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in paradise. So he's letting you know that his message is for everyone right there, not just his own people. And then he says, but the sons of the kingdom, so he's referring to his own people as the Jews, as the Hebrews, is saying that they will be cast out into outer darkness. And that doesn't mean all of them will be. It just means the ones who don't believe. And Christians over the centuries have mistaken this verse and used it to hate Hebrew people. And I'm not talking about modern day Jews. I'm talking about real Middle Eastern Hebrews from back in the day. They used verses like this to persecute them. But that's not at all what Yeshua was referring to. He was just basically saying, in street terms, you know, my own homies don't even got my back enough to where I'm going to keep them in my neighborhood. But homies from other neighborhoods will be coming over here and kicking it because they've shown that they got some love for us. You know what I mean? So it's not about being Hebrew or Gentile. It's about your faith in following the word of God. Peter's mother-in-law and many others healed. So when Yeshua finished there, he came down to Peter's house, obviously, and they saw Peter's mother-in-law, and she was sick with a fever. So he simply touched her hand, and she was healed. And then she immediately got up and started serving to them. So everybody in the neighborhood started bringing all of their people who were ill to him. And it says that he started casting out all who were, had bad spirits, were demon possessed, and he started casting them all out with a word. And he healed everyone who was ill. And this fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah when he said, he himself took our infirmities and carried away our diseases. So when he was doing that, every time that he healed somebody, he was fulfilling that prophecy. Beautiful thing. Discipleship tested. Now when Yeshua saw a crowd around him, he gave orders to depart to the other side of the sea. Then a scribe came and said to him, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. Yeshua said to him, the foxes have holes and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Another of the disciples said to him, Master, permit me first to go and bury my father. But Yeshua said to him, follow me and allow the dead to bury their own dead. When he got into the boat, the disciples followed him, and behold, there arose a great storm on the sea, so that the boat was being covered with waves, but Yeshua himself was asleep. And they came to him and woke him, saying, Save us, Master, we are perishing. And he said to them, Why are you all afraid, you men of little faith? Then he rose up, rebuked the winds and the sea, and it became perfectly calm. The men were amazed and said, What kind of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? Let's rewind it a little bit. Discipleship tested. Okay, these are 3 things in this small little portion of chapter 8, where he throws some tests out for disciples or possible disciples. The first one is when the scribe came up to him and said, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. He said, well, the foxes have holes, the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. So in other words, that guy, that scribe, was probably coming from a decent household, a decent home where he had pretty much everything. And when he said that he would follow the Messiah anywhere, Yeshua was basically telling him, oh yeah, well, I'm homeless. If you want to follow me, I'm homeless. You got to be homeless with me. Right? So that was a test to that man to see if that man truly wanted to follow him and was going to follow through with that, or if he was just saying it. Now, it doesn't say whether he followed him or not, but that was the test. The next one was when the young man came up to him and said, Master, I want to follow you, but first permit me to go and bury my father. Now, this one took me a while to understand. Yeshua said, just follow me and allow the dead to bury their own dead. It seemed a bit insensitive to me at first. It was like, why wouldn't Yeshua just let him go bury his father and then come back and follow him? But you have to remember something. If in life we are supposed to forsake every single person in our life and put Yeshua first, why would that change because someone dies? Okay? You only have that opportunity, that, like my hand across the screen, that opportunity in life where Yeshua in this time was passing by. And if you wanted to learn and participate and become one of his followers, that was the time that you had. So let the dead bury their dead. It will be taken care of. Your family, friends, somebody will take care of it. You have an opportunity to follow the Son of the Father, the creator of heaven and earth. So take it. Now, the rest is just basically a story. His followers have been with him already and seen him perform many things. The fact that when they were in the boat, the storm kicked up and they started getting scared. They thought they were going to die. It's like, how are you going to think you're going to die when the Son of the living God is sitting right there with you, even though he's asleep? So they woke him up all crazy. Oh, save us. And he's like, gosh, guys, do you have any faith? I'm here with you. You're not going to die, obviously, if I'm in the boat with you. But to make them feel better, he made this winds and the rain and everything stop. And after that, once again, they're totally amazed, like, who is this guy? It's like they understood, but still didn't understand who he was. And I can understand how hard that must have been in some ways, because sometimes you see things with your own eyes, but you just can't let it in. You know what I mean? So we try not to be too judgmental about some of the mistakes that the apostles made back in the day, because God knows that we probably we make more mistakes than them before lunch. So Yeshua casts out demons. When he came to the other side of the country, to the Gadarenes, 2 men who were demon possessed met him, and they were coming out of the tombs. They were so extremely violent that no one could pass by that way, and they cried out, saying, "What business do we have with each other, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time?" Now there was a herd of many swine feeding at a distance from them. The demons began to entreat him, saying, "If you are going to cast us out, send us into the herd of swine." And he said to them, "Go." And they came out and they went to the swine. And then the whole herd of swine basically went insane, rushed down the cliff, threw themselves in the water, and died. Okay? The herdsmen ran away and went to the city and reported everything, including what had happened to the demoniacs. And the whole city basically came out to meet Yeshua. And when they saw him and they saw what he had done, they implored him to leave. Now, they'd basically lived with these 2 crazy guys for who knows how long. It says that people couldn't even travel by that way because those demon-possessed men would come out and, who knows, try to murder you, do something, right? Once again, this small little piece of chapter 8 demonstrates the power of the Messiah. Okay, these demons, they come out, they see him from a distance, they already know who he is in a supernatural manner, basically present themselves to the master and are begging for him not to torment them. Before the time, it says. Are you here to torment us before the time? So in other words, the demons in this chapter are letting you know that there is a time limit that they have. They're on the clock. They only got a certain amount of time until it's over for them. Okay? So when they saw him, they're like, well, it's not really the time. Are you going to, you know what I mean? Notice he cast them out with one single word. Go. That scared the people. They were scared of him. So they asked him to leave. They didn't know what they were doing. Feel bad for him. But an amazing display of power and grace once again.